Alright, welcome everyone. Welcome to today's tutorial. I will be teaching how to make a cake box, transparent cake box for 6 inches board. A cake board that measures 6 inches. Okay, 6 inches, and then the height of the box will be 8 inches. So I'll be using 5 of these PVC sheets. Okay, so now the first thing that we need to do is the top of the box. So I'll bring one out. Lining it up, I will score. Now the I said the cake board is 6 inches. Now you're going to add a little allowance to that 6 inches. I'm going to add 2/8 of an inch to the 6 inches. So instead of 6 inches, I'm going to make it 6 and 2/8 of an inch. Reason is so that there'll be a little space when you put the cake board inside the box. Because if you make it exactly 6 inches, it will not enter, it will bulge. It will press it and then it will have a bulgy look, and we don't want that. And we don't want it to be too big so it doesn't move around and all that. So now 6 and 2/8 of an inch, that's what I said. Now to that 6 and 2/8 of an inch, I'm going to add 1 extra inch, making it 7 and 2/8 of an inch. So I'll score that on both sides, 7 and 2/8 of an inch, and then turn and repeat the same scoring, 7 and 2/8 of an inch. Okay, so what I will do now is to cut off these excess here, these ones that are smaller. We don't need them. Okay, all right, so this is what we have 7 and 2/8 by 7 and 2/8. Now for that, we are now going to score half an inch on all the 4 sides. Make sure you hold your PVC in place when scoring. Half an inch, turn, half an inch, turn again, another half an inch, and then the last part, half an inch. Okay, all right, so now let me set the board aside. Now what we're going to do next, you see these 4 corners here, we have these small boxes here. I'm going to remove all of them. Okay, now that I'm going to remove it, I'm going to remove all the boxes, including the score lines. If you can see the score lines, including the score lines. Okay, that's how I will remove them. So I will remove one on camera and then repeat and finish the remaining 3 off camera, so we don't waste time, in order to save time. Okay, all right, so this, I'll remove the remaining 3 parts off camera and I'll get back to you at that point. All right, so here we are, all 4 corners removed. Now the next thing that we are going to do is to, we'll set this aside, bring in my board again, and then bring in another PVC sheet. Okay, now remember the height of the box is going to be 8 inches. Okay, now to that 8 inches, this is 8 and 2/8 of an inch here, so I'll just cut 8 inches out on this side. So that means this is the height. Okay, and then rotate and score the same 7 and 2/8 of an inch. Now the box has 4 sides. Okay, so I'm going to add 1 inch to 6 and 2/8, which will give us 7 and 2/8 of an inch. Okay, I'm going to do this on only 2 pieces, only 2 pieces of this out of 4 sides. Okay, 7 and 2/8. Now I'm going to cut this off and this. Like so. Cut this off and cut this off. Okay, so here we have 8 inches by 7 and 2/8. Now I'm going to put this back on the board. On the 7 and 2/8, this is it, 8 inches by 7 and 2/8. Now on the 7 and 2/8 inch side, I'm going to score at half an inch on both sides. I'll score and then rotate 2 times, 1, 2, bringing the one we scored to be on this side. Okay, line it up and score half an inch. So I'm going to repeat this on another piece. Okay, and I'll get back to you at that point. All right, so here we have 3 pieces now, this and this. Now we need 2 more pieces. Okay, now let me show you what I'm going to do. So I'll bring one more. We have 2 pieces, so I'll bring one more, bringing in the board and line this and score at 8 inches, which is the height, all the way down, 8 inches. Then rotate once and score at 6 and 2/8. We are not adding any extra to this one. 6 and 2/8 on the 2 pieces. Okay, so I'll set this aside and of course remove these pieces that we don't need. Remove this and this. Okay, so now we have 6 and 2/8 by 8 inches. Okay, so I'll repeat the same what I did here on the last piece of PVC, and then I'll get back to you at that point. All right, so here we have our 5 pieces. 2 pieces of this, the same, 1 piece of the top and 2 pieces of this. Now this one is the same thing as the center of these 2 pieces. Okay, now the next thing we are going to do is to bring in our double-sided tape. Now I prefer this double-sided tape because it's transparent and makes work easy and faster, no hassle. So I already cut it's 2 inches double-sided tape. Okay, I cut it into half an inch. Now okay, this does not have any flap or scoring whatsoever. Now this, you can see the way it's turning inward already. Okay, so I'll flip it to the opposite side and then put my double-sided tape close to the score line, but not too close anyway, like that, running it all the way down, and then cut off the excess using my scissors. Okay, now repeat this on the other side and this as well. Okay, from this is the outside part, this is the inside, so I'll flip it and apply my double-sided tape on the remaining sides. Okay, and I'll get back to you at that point. All right, so here we are, the 4 1/2 inch that I scored out. That's the 2 on each piece. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just to crease by pressing down the double-sided tape properly, so if there's any bubble under it, it will go out. Okay, set it aside, and then the second one. Now just the way I applied this double-sided tape on this flap, on these 2 pieces, the same way I will do on this. I'll apply double-sided tape all round. Okay, the PVC is giving you the direction it's going already. This is coming up like this, so you flip it, the one that is facing down, that's where you apply double-sided tape. Okay, so apply double-sided tape on the 4 sides, and then I'll get back to you at that point to continue. All right, so here we are. All the part that needs double-sided tape has been applied. So now the next thing we are going to do is we have one of these, two of these, and two of these. Okay, so we'll place this here. Take one of these, peel off this backing tape to reveal the other side of the double-sided tape. Now, something I always do is, because I cut the double-sided tape, it's not the 1/2 inch size I bought. This extra tape coming out, I just use my finger to fold it over so that it doesn't become sticky. Because if you put it like that, it will start sticking inside the box, and we don't want that effect. Okay, so I peel that off. Now, on any side that does not have double-sided tape, that doesn't have any score line either, we'll just line this up like this, making sure that it's aligned with the tape and the score line. Okay, and then press down. Bring your stylus and crease properly, removing any bubble. Now this has to take a lot of energy so that it disappears. Okay, you press it properly, very well. Okay, now all the bubbles are gone. I'm not seeing anyone again. Flip it and repeat the same thing. Okay, now, sorry, I skipped one part. We are supposed to fold and crease. Sorry about that. All the fold lines. Okay, but it's not lit, so just fold and crease this one so it is flat. Okay, you can just press it a little so it's going easily. Okay, so you just fold this down as well and crease. Fold this down, crease. Okay, so I'm supposed to do that on all the folded parts, including this one. Let me just do this. All right. Okay, so now one of these that does not have anything, flipping this back. Okay, no, let me leave this first. Let me do this so I don't confuse you. So let me set this aside, fold this and crease, and the other side as well. Okay, okay, so now this is what we did. Okay, this is here. Now on the opposite side, for this we're going to glue this like this. This is here on the opposite side. I'll peel off the backing tapes. Then line this just where we did this other one. This one is folded. Need it to be straight. If it's folded, if you have issues, it has to be straight. Don't let it fold. Okay, and just line it up just as we did the other one, aiming at the where your double-sided tape started, which is just at the base of the skull line, and then you press down and also crease properly. All right, turn the other way and crease as well. Okay. All right, so we have this already. Okay, now the next thing we are going to do is just the same thing that we did. Remove this backing tape and then fix this. So I'll do this other two off camera and I'll get back to you at the next stage. All right, welcome back. So here it is. We have our box coming to shape. Okay, you can see, right? So now what we're going to do is now to remove this backing tape and line this side, this point up with this folded part so that this can glue to this. You line it up properly. So let me just go ahead and do this one, and then I'll do the remaining three off camera. Remember, any excess you fold it in. Okay, fold it over onto the main double-sided tape. Okay, then just line it up. Okay, now this is really tricky because it's transparent and then light and all. Okay, all right, there we are. So press down and crease properly. So just what I did here is what I'll do on the remaining three sides till we have a complete box like this. Okay, so I'll do the remaining three off camera and I'll get back to you at that point. All right, so here we are. This is going to be the lid of the box. Okay, so it will go down like that. So now let's do the base. Now for the base, it's going to be, we'll set this aside. Okay, now for the base, this is what we're going to be using. Remember, this is now 6 2/8 of an inch. Okay, since it's 6 2/8 of an inch, I'll bring this and score at I need to add extra 1 inch to it. That's 6 2/8 of an inch. Okay, we need to add extra 1 inch, which will be 7 2/8 of an inch, so that there will be half an inch on both sides. Okay, so now since it's 7 2/8 of an inch, I'm going to add another 2 inches extra to that 7 2/8 of an inch, which will give me 9 2/8 of an inch, which I have here already. So I'll turn this and check. Okay, this is more than 9 2/8, so I'll score at 9 2/8 of an inch and remove this extra piece here. Okay, so there we are. Now this is removed. We'll set this aside. Now we need our straw board. This is 9 2/8 by 9 2/8. Okay, remember I added 2 extra inch to it, making 9 2/8. That's from 7 2/8. Okay, now we need our straw. We need our straw board. We need 7 2/8 by 7 2/8 straw board. I'll remove this. Okay, let me get the board and I'll get back to you. All right, so this is our board, which measures 7 2/8 by 7 2/8. Okay, so now we are now going to glue this down to this that we made like this. No, I added extra 2 inches to the 7 to make it 9 2/8. This is why, so that this 1 inch should be round it like this. Okay, so let's take this back to the board and score on the outside 1 inch all round. Don't mind the markings here. Okay. All right. Now, this is what we have. Oh boy, I'm not going to cut this out. I prefer I'm thinking I should do a triangular cut like this, or I should just cut this out. Let me just cut this out. There are 2 ways to go about it anyway, so let me just cut this out. But before that, we're going to set this aside first, and then bringing back our board, we will apply our double-sided tape on one side of the straw board to cover it completely. Please watch how I'm going to do it, okay? Lining it up on this side and this side. Press down and then turn it over. You can use your scissors, you can use your paper cutter, whichever one works for you. Even blade. Okay. Line this. This is paper cutter. Okay. Then continue like that, lining it up. You know, there is no space in between the tapes. Okay, we need that so that we'll have a very clean and finished look, so it doesn't bulge. That's the reason for that. Because if you don't, the paper will start bulging. There will be space to be bulging out somehow, and I don't like that effect. All right, then trim this excess part off. Don't throw this paper away. You will surely use it. May not be for this project, but for another project, just keep it. Fold it over and crease properly. All right, so there we are. Now we are not going to set this straw board aside and bring this in, and then remember this small piece. Well, it's going to be useful now. I'll just line this up to the edge. You will not put on the 4 corners this smaller piece. Don't put tape there, okay? I'm going to be doing the 4 corner cuts. I'll just line my tape like this. Okay, turn, and the other side. Sorry, let me finish this. Okay, and the last part. Now don't cut this the corner part off yet. Don't rush. Follow what I'm doing. Now we'll bring this back in. We're not going to peel the backing tapes off completely. Okay. All right, so this is what we have. This is where the tape is. Okay, so I'll just flip it like this and line it up to the score line that we made round, like that. Okay, then flip it over and twist to remove any bubble. Okay, and also to lie it flat down properly. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so now we can now trim off the four corners like that. This is how I do my trimming. Okay, then chop off. All right, so now I'll bring my stylus and then just run it through beside the cardstock. Okay, just to make it easy to fold over. Now here we are going to be using our PVC glue for this space. Okay, and then peel off the backing tape. So what I did here is what I'm going to repeat on the remaining 3 sides. Okay, just use your hand, oops use your hand to guide it and then fold over like that. Now that double-sided tape will give this a instant grip, so it will not be moving around, but the PVC, it takes time to dry. Okay, so just press this down like that. See the excess that is coming out. Need to clean this off. All right. So what I did here is what I'll repeat on the remaining 3 sides. I'll do that and then I'll get back to you at that point. All right, so here we are. We have this completely finished now. Okay, so now we're going to set this aside. Okay, and then bring another straw board that measures 6 2/8 by 6 2/8. Okay, and then also cut out 2 strips of cardstock that measures 1/2 inch by 6 2/8, 1/2 inch by 6 2/8. Okay, now we're going to, this will be going on both sides of this straw board. Now just watch what I'm doing. I will apply my PVC glue. Okay, and then line it up standing like this to the edge. Don't worry about the excess that is oozing out. It will give it a better bond, a better hold. Okay, you can blow air on it to make it get dry quickly. Okay, all right, now on the opposite side I'll repeat the same thing like so. Okay, okay, oh, it's not yet dried, so let me just make these ones to get dry and then I'll get back to you at that point. Well, okay, so I've been trying to make it get dry, but it keeps falling. So what I'm going to do is I'll bring my masking tape, which is paper tape, in, okay, and then I'll just cut out little pieces like so to hold it in place. Yeah. So I will do this, okay, on both sides, and I'll get back to you at that point. Okay, all right. So here it is. My tape is holding it in place. Okay, actually this works better, works fine than the PVC glue. So here it is. Now the second piece we are going to use is this, also 5/8 of an inch, but it's not up to 6 2/8 of an inch. It's about 6 1/8 of an inch. Okay, two pieces as well. Okay, so I will also cut out my tape and glue it down as well, but this I'll do this on camera for you. Okay, so it will go inside like this. Okay, this is how I did it. Line this up here first. Okay, line it up like that and push this down. Then bringing this in and line it to the edge. Make sure that it's well lined. Okay, this is not holding on to this properly yet. Okay, so for this I will use the PVC glue to hold it in place. I'll just put my little glue there and line it up like so, and let it give it some time to dry. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I will finish this up, gluing the sides together like so, and then finish this side up as well, and then I'll get back to you at that point. All right, so here it is. I have all four sides glued down already. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to do, this is how it's going to be. Okay, it's going on top of this board like so. Okay, so now the next thing that we are going to do is to cover the sides. Okay, so I already cut out my my strip, a long strip, measures 2 inches. So now let me set this aside and this as well, and bring my board back in. Okay, so I will put this and score at half an inch. No, not half an inch. Let me make it 1 inch. I'll score from 2-inch strip. I'll score at 2 inches. Okay, all the way down. I did not measure the length of the strip, I just cut it out like that, and then bring my double-sided tape one more time and cover the full length of the strip like so. Okay, okay, So here we are. Use this properly to lie down flat. Alright, now I'll bring this to the board one more time and score at half an inch. Now I'll bring this board back in. Okay, let's fold this and crease so that we will see the fold line, because the crease line that we're not going to fold line, we need it. It's our guide. Okay, right, and this half an inch we did here as well, fold it. All right, so now we'll bring this like so. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off completely, leaving the fold lines. Okay, now we are good to go. So I will peel this off just a little, and then bring this, lining this edge to this score line. Okay, like that, and this one I'll just cover it up like so, then turning it and line it flat down. We want to work on this small one. If you have watched the luxury box, you understand what I'm doing here, the video of the luxury box. So I'll just cut about 1 inch away from the box. Okay,